Hello, everyone. Are you ready to tackle risk head on? Join me as we explore how to grow, overcome challenges, and evolve your business to the next level. Now, welcome back to another episode of Talking Business with Ritz. And I'm your host, Ritzel Loredo-Rectra. Join me as we showcase the human behind the title before the offer with our special guest right here on Talking Business with Ritz. All right, we are now in the Know the Expert segment. Grab your seats and get ready for an insightful journey ahead, and let's start humanizing entrepreneurship together. So, we're streaming this episode live using StreamYard. If you're curious about hosting your own live streams, check out the link in the description to know more. Ready to be amazed? Joining us today is the remarkable Lainne Love Patterson, an award-winning spiritual psychology coach and best-selling author. Lainne is not just a coach, she is a beacon of light, guiding entrepreneurs, conscious parents, and innovators towards their path of self-mastery and growth. Now, she is dedicated to living or to leading others to live their bigger mission and is passionate about innovation and contributing positively to the evolution of humanity. Lainne is the founder of and CEO of A Bigger Mission and is also a proud mom. Right? So let's welcome our guest. Where is she now? Here we go. Let's welcome our guest, Lainne Love Patterson. Here we go. Let me change this.
I love that. That's amazing.
All right. Just love that. Okay. Lainne, welcome to the show. How are you today?
Oh, I'm so great. To be met with applause in the morning is so fantastic. Thank you for that.
All right. So that is good to know. Now, let's find out more about the person behind the title. Are you ready, Lainne?
I'm ready.
All right. Here we go. Oops. Where is it? Here it is. All righty. So let's start with the first question. Who is Lainne Love Patterson as a person?
As a person, well, continually evolving. So just like the show, evolving, continually growing, overcoming challenges, and evolving, like all of us. I'm really interested in cultivating new tools, gathering new tools to grow and help myself to meet challenges and obstacles and turn them into opportunities. It's just a part of my personality. I'm really curious and I love learning, and I have a spirit that just is a not give up kind of spirit. So I have definitely, like many of you, overcome a lot of obstacles and challenges in my life, and I'm sure I'll have many more. But what I'm interested in, how do I do that with more grace?
All right. Now, could you briefly let us know how did your path begin as a spiritual psychology coach?
Well, it certainly did not begin with the idea that I would be a coach or a spiritual psychology coach. It began a long time ago. When I was in university, I studied science. I thought I wanted to wear a white coat and be really respectable,
Wow.
because I grew up with with struggle. I had a single mom, and she had 4 kids, and she had my brother and I when she was a teenager. So links there. We definitely had a lot of challenges and struggles growing up, a lot of different traumas and experiences that shaped who I became or who I've become and who I'm still becoming as a human. So I studied science, and then I just didn't get the answers I was looking for, that I was interested in getting. And so I went to college thereafter. So in Canada, we sort of differentiate, university and college. In the States, everything seems to be college. But so I went to college and I studied shiatsu therapy, and I chose that because I really liked the mix between Eastern medicine, traditional Chinese medicine, Eastern thought, and also we still studied like Western ideologies like physiology, anatomy, bioethics, business. So I really liked that it was a nice bridge between two worlds. And the more I learned about traditional Chinese medicine and the meridian system and energetics, just the more I became really curious about that world. And I studied with a couple of different world-renowned masters. I studied a lot of energy medicine. And then from there, it's a rabbit hole. Once you go down that path,
Yeah, indeed.
so many cool subjects and so many amazing people doing really exceptional work. And I'm still learning, I'm still digging, and I'm still growing. So I love this world. I love how fascinating it is and how I just I want to keep learning. But so I started off working in chiropractic's offices doing physical work, working as a shiatsu therapist. And as I did that, my intuitive skills started to really develop, because as I was touching people, I'd get a lot of intuitive hits. So coupling that with all of the energetics that I was learning, that just led me on this path to spiritual psychology, because the missing element, or the element that weaves everything together, it really is spirit, and that we are all these eternal spirits having this human experience, and we're all connected and we're all one. And how the different things that we experience now as human beings, how ancient those patterns can be, how they can be ancestral patterns, they can be collective patterns. So it's really interesting to start to dive into the really dynamic part of what it means to be human.
All right. Now, is there, or could you share any like takeaways or lesson learned in your entrepreneurial journey?
Oh, so many. I made so many mistakes because, I didn't come into this thinking about entrepreneurship or like business. I did want to work for myself. I was interested in that, but I had no idea what that meant. And so I spent a lot of time becoming an expert, so to speak, or how about knowledgeable? I don't know if I'm an expert or if anybody is really an expert. I think that we all have, experience and knowledge. So I spent a lot of time gathering knowledge to become a proficient therapist, a healer, whatever you want to call that. And then I discovered, oh no, now I have to like market myself as a healer. People have to be able to find me, and that's a completely different skill set. Becoming an entrepreneur or a business owner, it's a completely different skill set and a necessary skill set. So I made a lot of mistakes. I took many years to learn like how to do it. And just like with anything else, I'm still learning, but I'm much more comfortable in my learning curve now. I think one of the most challenging things for me was like hiring and working with different people, and what that looks like, and what that skill set even is, like how to be able to give directions to somebody. Coming up with processes, policies, procedures, processes, and knowing the ins and outs of all of those steps. So there's so much to be learned when you're building a business, and it can be lots of fun. And just know that you're gonna make lots of mistakes, and that's part of it. I think the ideal is just like to be learning from those mistakes, figuring out what
Yeah,
you like, figuring out what you don't like, figuring out how to hire somebody, and having, I don't want to say realistic expectations, but that's what I'm going to say about what that looks like. I had this idea that, because it's also sold, it was sold to me as this idea, like when you have somebody, it's going to working with you or for you, it's going to alleviate all of these tasks for you to do. But what I didn't know was how much time and effort it takes to train somebody. So
correct.
eventually you get to that point where it alleviates the task, but initially it gives you more of a workload, and understanding that and knowing that is a really important part of the process, because I was really naive in thinking, oh, I hire somebody and within a maybe right away. I think that was even my expectation. Right away they're just going to be doing all of these things, and I'm not really going to have to tell them that many things because they're the professional in this particular field, and they're just
Mhm.
going to be able to take all of this workload off me or away from me, and that's not the reality of how it works. There's a lot of training that's involved,
Yeah,
and a lot of patience that's involved, and a lot of figuring each other out. So if I could share
correct.
anything, it would be that that managing your expectations, and realizing that every part of the journey takes some time. It doesn't have to take a really long time, for everyone. Everybody's going to
Uh-huh.
have, the different strengths, but just that, to just relax, hold your horses a little bit, relax, and figure out the right things, and not really be worrying about like the time frame.
Correct. And being kind to yourself as well.
Oh, yes, being kind, laugh, like, oh my goodness, I had such a good laugh at myself, with myself, for like how really naive it was for me to think that having somebody come in and work with me was going to be this sort of like magic pill, and
Yeah,
that it was just
like
going
a
to
walk
fix
in
all
the
of these things
park, and
right
it's
away.
not.
No,
Yeah,
it takes
that's
time.
true.
It takes
Yes,
time.
it is. It is. All right, that's interesting and very helpful indeed. To know that entrepreneurship is not just like what, like I've said earlier, a walk in the park where when you start and you say yes, let's do this, and it's gonna just flow and work as we've expected, but it's not.
And
All
it might.
right.
I wanna put it out there
Mhm.
that it's possible, I don't
It's
wanna
possible,
create
yes.
this reality where, like, it has to be hard, and you have to struggle through all these things, because there is also a reality where things can be easy and they can happen quickly, and awesome, please create that reality, and if that's not what happens, that's also okay. Is that there's a big learning curve here.
Exactly. All right, now let's get to know Lainey on a more personal level. Are you ready for a lightning round of fun question,
Sure.
Lainey?
Yes.
All right, let me set the stage. Here we go. Okay, now, what is your favorite word and why?
Oh, favorite word.
Yep,
Wow, okay. I
caught
don't
you there, is
know.
it?
You know what?
Mhm.
Maybe I'm gonna have to say my son's name.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah, my favorite word is, or maybe it's like mama. That I'm a mama, and everything that means, because that has definitely shaped my life for the better, and helped me to become a much better person, because I've chosen to rise to that challenge and grow
Wow.
and develop, because that's absolutely necessary when you become a parent. You have the
Mm,
opportunity
yeah.
to grow
How old
if
is
you
your
so
son?
choose to. He's
Yeah.
8. Yeah.
Oh, very cute. That's a cute age.
It's all wonderful, really.
Yeah,
It
it
really
is.
is.
All right. All right. Now, next question. What's the one thing you can't start your day without?
Movement.
Movement.
Yeah, movement, when I wake up, I feel really creaky, so I absolutely have to incorporate some kind of movement.
All right. Okay. Next question: early bird or night owl?
Early bird.
Right. Beach vacation or cityscape?
Ooh. That's both.
All right. Are you a dog person or a cat person?
Oh yeah, both. I'm an animal person. I love animals. I don't necessarily want to own all of the animals, but
Mhm.
they're so magical, and they have so
True.
many gifts to give us. So cats
Indeed.
are easier to take care of, but I like also the the movement, going back to movement that dogs bring into your life, forcing you to get outside. I've had both. I've had rats, I've had rabbits, I've had dogs,
Wow.
and I've had cats. So, and I'm open to having different animal experiences. So I guess I
All
didn't
right.
really
You're,
answer the
you're fun.
question, but all of them.
You're a fun person. Now, what's your favorite way to unwind after a long day?
It depends on the day. I mean, there isn't just one thing. I love to hang out with my son and just chat. I like to maybe again do some kind of movement or dance, or
Mm.
sing. Or sometimes I like to like sit down and watch something. Sometimes I like to have a glass of wine. Sometimes I like to have tea.
Wow. Interesting. All right. Now, next question. In 3 words, how would your friends describe you?
Positive,
Hmm.
warm, and
Two.
like a yes person. Like, if you
All
wanna do
right.
the thing, "Do you wanna go do this thing?" I'm like, "That sounds terrible. Yes, you can count on me. I'll show up."
All right. Now, last question. What advice would you give your younger self?
What would I actually accept when I was younger? You know, we get a lot of advice in our life, and,
Mm.
it's good. It's good advice, but the challenge is that we're actually not willing to accept it.
Indeed.
We're not ready, we're not willing to really to hear those words. So the advice that I would give myself is to do the work, to be able to accept the advice that's given to me, uh,
Hmm.
along my journey.
All right. Awesome. Now, thank you, Lainey, for sharing those fun insights and being so open during our lightning round of questions.
I love the applause, that's so much fun.
All right, now it's time for the next part of our show. So, but before we continue, to our audience, if you're liking what you see and what you're hearing right now, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. For those watching live, keep those questions coming for the Q&A session. Okay, so let's dive right in. All right, welcome back, amazing Pambams, to the Learn from the Expert segment. And now that we've gotten to know Lainey Love Patterson a bit better, it's time to dive into our first subtopic. And let me show our subtopic right now, which is here we go. Okay, comfortable risk taking, embrace the unknown. So get ready to explore how to step out of your comfort zone and embrace new challenges head on. So let's do this. Now, Lainey, how do you define comfortable risk taking and why is it essential for personal and professional growth?
Well, anything that feels uncomfortable feels like a risk, right? So comfortable risk taking is really if it's not going to harm yourself or somebody else.
Mhm.
Like, To me, that's the line. Is your life in danger, or is somebody else's life in danger? If not, then if it feels uncomfortable, like I had just said about that, I'm the yes person. I'm like, oh God, that sounds terrible. Like, I'll do it. So understanding that as you're growing as a human and a person and a business person, there's going to be a lot of things that feel uncomfortable. So most of the time, I think that when we know that we have to do something, it's like, oh yeah, that's going to be terrible. Then that I know that that's the next thing that I have to do. That's that comfortable risk taking. Like, oh no, I know I have to be more visible. So I'm going to have to get out there and speak. Oh, I hate speaking. That sounds so terrible. I don't want to do it. Then you know that that's the thing that you have to do. That's the comfortable risk taking. Or when you're seeking funding for something, like, am I going to take a loan for this? How am I going to get the funds that I need for this? All of this feels really uncomfortable. Well, getting uncomfortable with risk taking is it's an essential part of the journey. Okay, so then that's getting comfortable with the consequences. Can I make myself comfortable or accept the consequences of this choice? Like, if I look for funding and it doesn't go through and now I have this debt, can I accept the consequence of that? Yes. Or can I accept the consequences of not getting the money and then never pursuing this idea? So that's how I like to do it. What's the consequence, and which one am I more or the least uncomfortable with? Well, actually, I'm more uncomfortable with never doing it. I'd rather have all of the debt and know that I tried, to not have any of the debt and to have never tried. So look at what the consequences of the comfortable / uncomfortable risk taking is.
All right, I take that as practical strategies or mindset shifts that individual can employ. All right, now next question would be: can you share a personal experience where you embraced the unknown and how it contributed to your growth and success?
All of it. I think, like, every step along the journey, not only in business but in life, is really unknown. You have an idea about, like, what it is that you want it to look like or how it is you want to be, but you go to school and you study the particular subject that you think that you're interested in, or maybe you don't go to school and you just go straight into business development and business building, but all of it is unknown. You have to dive into it. Again, it kind of bleeds into, like, my last answer is like, which one am I going to feel more, which one am I going to regret? Am I going to regret not doing this, or am I going to regret doing it and then the consequences of that? So yeah, nothing. Even when you think, if I do this, A plus B equals C, it never works out that way. And we can look at our lives and know that. But I was sure A plus B equals C. No, it's A plus B equals T or Z, or it's never A plus B equals C. So it never
I
turns
think,
out. Sometimes it turns
yeah,
out even better than imagined. Yeah.
yeah. So I think it's how what's the reaction? What we do after things that we plan really didn't happen, or didn't really, happen as what we expect. So I think that's what.
Exactly.
All right, so those were fantastic information, Lainey. Now we've just scratched the surface of our discussion on mastering the risk with our amazing Lainne Love Patterson here. So now let's pivot to our next subtopic, which is keep growing and never stop evolving. So, Lainey, what are some practical strategies entrepreneurs can use to maintain a growth mindset and continually evolve in their businesses?
Well, what's practical is that it probably never feels good and never feels easy, and you don't want to do it. And just
Yes.
accepting that that is the reality, and pretty much everybody's feeling that every day. Like, I don't want to get out of bed. I don't want to do these things. But the reality is you get to, you're blessed to, you have to.
Yeah.
So you have to do those things. And eventually, once you start doing them, it gets a little bit easier. But almost every day I wake up and I'm like, oh, I don't want to get out of bed. The last thing I want to do is get out of bed. But once I do get out of bed, and I start to do the things that I do, and that changes almost like on a daily basis, and start to put myself, like, you have to put yourself into the right mindset, and that takes effort, that takes
Mm-hmm.
practice, that takes
Yep.
a conscious choice to put yourself there. It gets easier and easier. The resistance becomes smaller, but
Mm-hmm.
I would say that there's almost no day that I don't have resistance.
Yeah, indeed. We have it all. Everybody have that.
Yes,
Daily
everybody
resistance.
has it. So
Yeah.
just understand that it's normal that you feel that pretty much every person is dealing with that. And your task, your challenge is to overcome that resistance every day. Some days it's going to be easier than others, and
Some
that's
days.
okay. That's what it is. So that's that practice of like self mastery. It's a practice. It is a
Yeah.
practice every day, every moment. It's going to look a little bit different. And so just keep trying for it. Keep reaching for it.
Indeed. And we better start as soon as possible.
Yes. Well, you start every moment. You start every moment. Like right now, I don't feel like doing it. Great. Keep going. Or accept, you know what? I'm going to give myself 5 minutes and I'm just going to sit in this. Like keep practicing what works for you.
All right, now that makes sense, Lainey. Now, can you like share a personal example of a time when you face a significant challenge or obstacle in your own entrepreneurial journey, and how you use it as an opportunity for growth?
Gosh, there are so many. Um I think I'll go back to, working with somebody, because
Mm-hmm.
there was so many things there. I've worked with several people, and I've had like full-time employees, I've had contract employees, I've had part-time employees. There was so many opportunities for me in there to really figure out many different lessons. So I had a lot of big challenges in
Mm-hmm.
discovering, one, there's the financial allocation that you have, and then there's expectations that go with that.
Indeed.
Um, and I certainly didn't feel like the amount of money that I was investing and having somebody support me, that I was getting the return on that.
Mm-hmm.
But that was for me to shift my mindset, and really
Mm-hmm.
understand what that give and take was in that relationship, and how responsible I was for the results that my employee was doing, giving, or making, that I was 100% responsible for that.
Mm-hmm.
And that was probably one of the biggest challenges, for sure. There's definitely been a lot of like ups and downs
Mm-hmm.
throughout my business journey, like starting and stopping, and what does that take? You have to know that this is what you want to do, and you have to believe that no matter what, like, you just got to keep on going. I tell my son all the time, when he's having a challenge, like, how many times did it take Edison? Like, I think 1,000 tries, like, and it's the same thing for you in your business, or whatever aspect of life that you're having a challenge with. If you're not there yet, it's because you're not there yet.
Indeed.
There's that gap. There's those skills that you need to develop. There's that mindset that you need to change, and mindset is a big part of it. There are so many different factors involved in creating this, like, a foundation for you to
Indeed.
grow. Yeah.
That is so true. That is so true. Entrepreneurs are not like born entrepreneurs. We have a lot of things to learn. We learn by experiencing.
Yes. I think maybe you're born in your heart. Like you have this feeling,
Yes.
this that like you have the spirit of an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
But yeah, you aren't necessarily born with all the skills, tools,
Indeed.
talents, and abilities to be able to do that successfully. There's a lot of trial and error, and you have to keep getting up. Every time you get knocked down, you got to keep getting up, and you're going to get knocked down continuously, always. I don't think that ever changes. It's just your ability to be able to problem solve gets better.
Correct. That's inspiring, Lainne. Now, in your opinion, what role does embracing change play in fostering personal and professional growth, especially in today's rapidly evolving business landscape?
The what is it? The only thing constant is change. I mean, there's no other way to do life. Everything is always changing. And going back to what I just said about problem solving, that's what gets better, is your ability to adapt and problem solve. You can't expect anything in your life, in any aspect of your life, to not change. I know as human beings, we get really comfortable and we think that we don't want things to change, but we do. We do. Where you're either expanding or you're contracting. So expand.
Expand is better. As long as we keep on learning and we keep implementing, we're going to be okay. We're going to be fine. All right. We have tremendous value bombs all throughout this episode. So, as our viewers absorb this information, now let's explore the third topic, which is celebrating challenges and turning obstacles into opportunities. All right, Lainne, now we've discussed the importance of embracing challenges and opportunities for growth. Now, can you share a personal experience? So I'm always doing the personal experience. Okay. So where you encountered a significant obstacle in your journey and how you were able to turn it into an opportunity.
Again, I'm like, oh God, so many. Which example do I use? Oh my goodness. I think like building systems for me. There's a lot of obstacles there, because that's definitely is not my language. But the opportunity there was to really understand, one, the importance of systems, and then what that looks like, but also the value that different people and different roles have in my business and in business and building it. I've built like, I don't know, 5, 6 different websites. And the first one I built was, in code, like years ago, like 15 years ago, in code. And I was watching the YouTube video, like, okay, this is how I do it step by step. And that was definitely a big obstacle. But the opportunity there was that I learned so much. One, I learned like what I'm good at, what I'm not good at, what I like, what I don't like. But then again, the value, like, oh my God, this is how much time it actually takes to change a button, or to change a font, or to build this page out. Okay, when I am communicating in the future with a web developer, one, I have some background knowledge on what it takes, and I have a little bit of a familiarity with what it is that I'm asking the person to do, because I found that interesting along the entrepreneurial journey, is learning all of the different rules, because how can I ask somebody to do something if I don't even know what that thing is, if I don't even know the details of what that position does. So one, knowing what that job is, and so I know how to ask for what it is that I need, at least having a limited familiarity, that I have an idea as to what that does. And then two, understanding what the value of that position is. So when you're talking about salary, when you're talking about time, and you're talking about expectations, it's so much clearer.
Yeah, indeed. All right. Now, in your work with entrepreneurs, I know you have clients as well. So What are some common misconceptions you've encountered about overcoming challenges, and how do you help your clients navigate through them?
That really just always boils down to mindset. Am I gonna
Mm,
get stuck on this thing and complain about it? Or just see it as like, I'm never gonna be able to do this, or this is always the problem. Great. That's feedback. That's all that challenges are, or obstacles are. It's just feedback. It's your opportunity. Going back to obstacle into opportunity, it's your opportunity to learn what's in the gap. So how
yeah.
do I overcome that? What's in the way? And that usually comes down to mindset, uh, patterns, generational patterns,
Mhm.
collective patterns, and being able to shift that, because what one person thinks is impossible, another person is living that on the day to day. That's their daily reality, and that just has to do again with mindset, beliefs, and patterns.
All right. Wow, that's mind blowing. So, what a very insightful, you know, interview we're having right now. We are having a very, very insightful interview.
Woo!
Yay. And because of that, we're gonna jump into our Q&A. All right, let me just flash the segment title. Here we go. All right, first question. Here's the first question. I'm inspired by your journey, someone asked. Right? How can someone like me, who's just starting out on their entrepreneurial path, begin to embrace risk and step out of, comfort zone?
You're gonna hate the answer. You just
I
there,
know she's gonna hate
yeah,
it.
you're gonna hate the answer, because the answer is like you just have to do it. I hated that answer. That was always the answer that I got. And I was like, no, there has to be like some secret formula or something that I do
Indeed.
first that's gonna nope, there really isn't, because you have to figure out what your strengths and weaknesses are, what
Indeed.
where you need to grow, what you know, what you don't know, because you'll surprise yourself too along the way about, oh wow, I didn't really know that I knew about all this stuff. That's cool. Because you hadn't had the opportunity yet to really showcase, the experience that you have gathered through your human journey, and all of that stuff is going to come into play as you're facing these different steps. So you really just have to start. And as you start, you will start to figure it out. It is not a step by step, cut and paste journey. It's a all over the place journey.
Right. All right. Thank you for that. Next question. Here we go. She said, I love the idea of celebrating challenges now, but sometimes it's hard to see the silver lining in tough situations. Well, really, it is. It is. Right?
Yeah.
But how can I shift my mindset to view challenges as opportunity? I think you
Yeah.
mentioned some earlier.
Again, that's like, yeah, I felt sorry for myself plenty on my journey, and cried and felt really frustrated and why me and all of that. So I definitely understand that sometimes it really is hard, but that moment will pass. That anger, that frustration, that sadness will pass. And then
Yeah.
that's your opportunity to just shift. Okay, this is frustrating. This sucks. This is horrible. I hate this. And what is the next step? Okay, maybe like you can't seem to get clients over and over again. You've done all the things, you've paid for the ads, you've built the funnels, you've done whatever, you can't seem to get clients. You can just get really frustrated, or you can say, okay, well, what else is there for me to do? And then what else is there for me to do until you get to the point that you're getting the result that you want. Person A did funnels and got 100 different clients. Doesn't mean that that's what's going to work for you. Maybe you do Facebook ads and that works or doesn't work. You've got to keep going until you figure out the thing for you. And
Yes.
that's how you shift your mindset every single day is, okay, that didn't work. What else is there?
All right. Good points there. Now, so this person says, I'm facing a major obstacle in my business right now, and I'm feeling really discouraged. Do you have any tips for staying motivated and resilient during tough times?
Yes. When I am feeling really discouraged, that's when I dig deep and do the work within myself. So like I have a coach, I have a teacher, I have a mentor, I have a therapist, I have all of the things.
All
And
right.
I also have myself. So that's when it comes down to leaning into the tools and leaning into everything is just feedback. Everything is feedback. It's not personal. So
Mhm.
if you're facing a particular challenge in your business, it's being able to get that space in between you and the challenge and be like, "Okay, it's not personal. What's the message here? What is the feedback here?"
Mhm.
And sometimes the feedback is something that you need to overcome within yourself,
Mhm.
that limiting belief, that
Sticking with it,
pattern.
yeah.
Sometimes it's a system or policy problem. Sometimes it's I've outgrown this. It's time to move on. Sometimes this is just not a good idea. It's time to scrap this and start all over again. But the more space that you can put in between yourself and the problem, and just look at it as feedback,
Mm.
the easier that it's going to be able to see the solution. And if you can't see the solution, then it's a subconscious pattern, and then you need to get some help and work on that.
All right. Now I flashed the wrong question earlier, so this is the another.
Oh,
So I struggle with fear or of failure, so which often holds me back from taking risks. So do you have any advice for overcoming this fear and stepping into courage?
yes. Again, this answer is going to suck because you just
Just
have to
do it.
do it. You just have to
Just do
do
it.
it. There's no
True.
way. I mean, one, you can definitely get some coaching or therapy on working at like fear and what happens, because
Yes.
sometimes it's a nervous system thing where I just can't. I used to freeze. That was my nervous system reaction, was freezing. And
Mm.
you could tell me 100 times a day, "Oh, well, you just have to do it." I couldn't. I couldn't do it.
Indeed.
I was frozen. So that required me then. So the feedback there is, okay, great. If I can't just do it, even though I don't want to, even though it sucks, I can't make myself do it, then that is a different kind of problem that I'm going to have to get some help with. So I needed to work with a couple of different people to help
Mhm.
me to reset, rewire my nervous system and my
Mhm.
subconscious patterns so that
Mhm.
I wasn't in that frozen response. Now my fear response has actually changed. I didn't even think that that was possible. I don't
Mm.
freeze anymore. That's not. I'm not a. I'm more my response has turned more into fight, and I never thought that I was going to be able to get there. So
Wow, that's
that's where I
great.
would start. Yeah, it is. It's really really cool. It's interesting.
Yeah, it's a complete 360.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. I have more questions, but in the benefit of time, let's end the Q&A segment for now. And thank you very much for for sharing your valuable insights with us and answering all these questions from my members. Now we're continuing on to the next segment. So let me just flash that one. Here we go. All right, now welcome back, fantastic fambams. Here's the recap from the previous segment. So, in today's episode, we've managed to get a glimpse of Lainey's personal life and her lesson learned while she is starting in her journey as a spiritual psychology coach. So, in the that is in the Know the Expert segment, and in the Learn from the Expert, Lainey actually emphasized the importance of stepping out of our comfort zones and leaning into uncertainty as the catalyst for growth. So by embracing uncertainty, we often, we open ourselves up to new possibilities and opportunities for personal and professional development. Now, she also highlighted the importance of never becoming complacent and always striving to evolve and improve. So, Lainey's perspective encourages us to embrace change and pursue growth relentlessly. And she also emphasized the power of resilience and adaptability in, navigating life's obstacles. So Lainey encourages us to see them as opportunities for innovation and growth. So by adopting a positive mindset and a growth mindset and embracing adversity, we can actually transform obstacle into stepping stones towards success. Imagine she managed to turn the frozen, what do you call that? Into a fight. When she is experiencing fear. Imagine that. I didn't know it can be done. All right, now wow, so much takeaways in this live expert interview, and now let's continue with the work with the expert. So, Lainey, could you please tell our audience about the services you offer as a spiritual psychology coach and how they can take advantage of your expertise?
Well, I love when I work with somebody, I love to work with them one-on-one. So that's how I also like to work with my clients is one-on-one. And it's so easy to reach me because I got so blessed that my website is my name, Lainne, LAINNE.com. And you can work with me one-on-one because I believe that that is the greatest, the most expedited way to create change in your life is to be able to work one-on-one with somebody and have something that is uniquely, specifically curated to what your particular challenges and journeys are.
All right, that's great. I think I missed something earlier. Sorry about that. Some glitches
Okay,
on my end, right? Yeah. Could you say it again? I will just try to edit it
absolutely.
later on for your purpose. All right. Could you please tell us, our audience, about the services you offer as a spiritual psychology coach and how they can take advantage of your expertise?
Yes. I love working with people one-on-one, and I have, amassed, a pretty big skill set of different tools and modalities that I like to use, along the way, and how and why I amassed that was really just figuring out for me what worked and didn't work because I was trying to transmute and transform the challenges that I was having. So now I have this wonderful skill set and tools to pull from. My favorite thing to do is really just to get right down into it and start working on rewiring the subconscious programs because really that's what it all comes down to. A lot of it's also within your energetic field, and there's also
Mhm.
a lot of ancestral patterns, but that plays into the energetic field and the subconscious mind as well. So it's really, really fun and it's so easy to get a hold of me. I got really blessed that my name is Lainne and I have Lainne.com, Lainne
All right.
dot com is my website. So you can book a free call and we can figure out if I am the best person for you to work with. And if not, I also have a ton of amazing colleagues that I like to refer out because the most important thing is that you get the support and the help that you need so that you can live your best life and be living into your bigger mission and making a positive impact here on the planet.
All right. Now here's the social media, I believe. Here we go. In all social media, that will be Lainey. Oh, is it Lainey
Lainne
Love or
Love.
Lainey
Lainne Love
Love?
on social
All right.
media, so LinkedIn and Instagram and all of those beautiful things. Lainne Love or Lainey.
All right. Should we flash your email as well?
So easy, Lainey at Lainey.
Right. Here we go.
Yeah.
You can contact her, send her an email if you have questions at Lainey@Lainey.com. Wow. Very easy to
Yes.
remember.
So easy. I'm really, really blessed.
All right. So thank you so much, Lainey, for sharing. Oh, where's your website? Here we go. Here's your website. Now, thank you very much again, Lainey, for sharing your wisdom and insights with us. And it's been an absolute pleasure. Um, it's very difficult. I'm the only I'm a one man woman right now. So it's like, where did it go? Where did it go?
You're doing
Okay.
amazing. This is so much fun. I love how dynamic your show is. It is a ton of fun, and I really really appreciated the applause. That made
Oh.
me giggle.
Thank you very much. Now, really, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on the show and diving deep into the topics of, mastering risk and personal growth. It's very interesting. Now, your expertise really enrich our discussion today, and I know our audience gain a lot of valuable insights to apply in their own lives. So we'd love to have you back again in the future episode of Talking Business with Ritz.
I'd love to come back.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Lainne Love Patterson. Okay, so for those of you watching, if you're inspired by Lainey's message, right, and want to learn more about how you can work with her to unlock your potential and live your bigger mission, be sure to check out her website. It's down there, all right, and connect with her in all the social media platforms. Um, so thank you very much for everybody for tuning in to another episode of Talking Business with Ritz. And remember, the journey to success is all about embracing risk, growing through challenges, and celebrating every step of the way. Now, let me tell you about our next guest for next Saturday. She is a visibility. Let me just share that on screen. She is a visibility activator, and she will be talking about the 3 C's of visibility for media domination to get seen, be heard, and get paid. Now, mark your calendar on May 4, Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern. That will be 7 a.m. Pacific, 8 a.m. Mountain Time, 9 a.m. Central. And if you are on other part of the world on my end, that will be 10 p.m. Singapore, Malaysia, Australia, Perth. All right, let's wrap it up. So that wraps up for today's episode. And don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and stay tuned for more inspiring episodes. So stay tuned and stay safe and healthy. And until next time, keep striving, keep evolving, and keep your mark on the world. This is Ritzel Loredo-Rectra and our expert guest, Lainne Love Patterson. Continue talking business with Ritz and see you in the next episode. Bye, everybody. All right.